200,000. That's how many banking jobs are projected to disappear in the next 5 years. Not globally across all industries, not across all white-collar work, just banks. 200,000 people. Gone. And that number comes from Bloomberg Intelligence, the research arm of the most widely read financial news organization on the planet, published January 2025, based on surveys of the actual chief information officers and chief technology officers running these institutions. Citigroup announced 20,000 job cuts targeted by the end of 2026. Wells Fargo has cut its workforce for 22 consecutive quarters. In March 2025, Morgan Stanley laid off 2,000 people, and some of those cuts were officially on the record because AI automated those roles. Bank of America said AI saved the need for 2,000 people. They just did not hire them. Here's the thing about those numbers. Behind every single one of them, there is a person who thought they had a stable job. Banking is the oldest industry in the modern world. It funded wars, built cities, and collapsed economies. Thousands of people built entire careers there. Loan officers, analysts, customer service agents, back office clerks, good, stable, middle-class jobs. Now those jobs are being quietly reclassified. Not eliminated, not officially, just not refilled. 54% of all financial jobs have a high potential for automation. That figure comes from a Citigroup analysis. More than any other sector on Earth. This is what that looks like from the inside. Let's start with JPMorgan Chase, the largest bank in America. 316,000 employees, and a technology budget in 2025 of $18 billion. $18 billion. Not on branches, not on tellers, on technology. Inside that number is a tool called LLM Suite, JPMorgan's internal AI platform built in-house. By early 2026, it had been rolled out to more than 230,000 employees, nearly 3/4 of the bank's entire workforce. A 5-page investment banking presentation, the kind that used to take a team of junior analysts an entire evening, now takes 30 seconds. Goldman Sachs has $6 billion in technology spending in 2025 and a 3 to 4 times improvement in developer productivity. Morgan Stanley rolled out an AI assistant for all 16,000 wealth management advisors, replacing the kind of institutional memory a senior analyst used to carry in their head after 20 years on the job. Bank of America quietly credited its AI tools with reducing coding work by 30%, saving the need for roughly 2,000 people. 2,000 people. Not announced in a press release, just not needed anymore. Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan put it simply, the bank can now do more with the same amount of people or less people. Revenue is growing, headcount is not. He said, we can just make decisions not to hire and let the headcount drift down. Drift down. That phrase, remember it. Here's something that doesn't make headlines but should. In 2021, 4% of Harvard MBA graduates had no job offer within 3 months of finishing school. 4%. Essentially nothing. By 2024, that number had jumped to 15%. MIT saw almost the exact same pattern. 4.1% of graduates had no offers in 2021. By 2024, it rose to 14.9%. These are not community college students. These are people who went to the most prestigious business schools in the world, who spent their whole lives preparing for exactly these jobs, and the door is closing faster than they can reach it. Because AI has already eaten the entry-level work, the slideshow presentations, the data synthesis, the financial modeling, the grunt work that used to be the internship, the analyst role, the first 2 years of building a career. Citigroup is training all 175,000 of its employees on generative AI. Not some of them, all of them. And that same Citigroup has plans to cut 20,000 jobs by the end of 2026. The reasoning is that automation would allow the bank to run middle office and back office functions with fewer people. Train everyone, then need fewer of them. That is the equation. More technology, fewer people. Now, if you want to understand what AI replacement actually looks like in real time, there is one story you need to know. Klarna, a Swedish fintech company, offers buy now, pay later services. It is one of Europe's most prominent tech finance stories. In 2022, Klarna laid off around 700 employees, about 10% of its workforce. They cited restructuring and they cited the economy. But they were also quietly building something. In February 2024, Klarna's chief executive officer, Sebastian Siemiatkowski, went public with the results. Their AI assistant, built in partnership with OpenAI, had, in a single month, handled 2.3 million customer service conversations, about 2/3 of all customer interactions. It was operating in 23 markets, communicating in more than 35 languages, 24 hours a day. And the number Siemiatkowski used to describe it was this: the AI was doing the equivalent work of 700 full-time agents. 700. The same number they had just laid off. The AI cost between $2 million and $3 million to deploy. Klarna projected a $40 million profit improvement for 2024. Average resolution times dropped from 11 minutes to under 2 minutes. Repeat inquiries fell by 25%. It was, by every operational metric, a success. Except 6 months later, something had gone wrong. Customer satisfaction had fallen sharply. Users reported robotic responses, unresolved complex issues, and absence of empathy. The AI handled routine questions perfectly. But banking is not all routine. Life is not routine. A customer in financial distress explaining a complicated situation needs something the model could not give them. By May 2025, Klarna was hiring humans again, specifically targeting students, rural workers, and Klarna users. Company leaders called this an evolution of strategy. A spokesperson said the AI gave them speed. But in a world of automation, nothing is more valuable than a truly great human interaction. Siemiatkowski himself admitted to Bloomberg that Klarna's AI-first path was not the right one. They had learned something expensive, something banks everywhere are now watching very carefully. Here is what all of this ADD's up to. Customer service representatives face an 80% automation risk. Data entry clerks could see 7.5 million positions eliminated globally by 2027. The World Economic Forum projects 85 million jobs displaced by AI across all sectors, offset by 97 million new roles emerging, a net positive on paper. But that net positive does not tell you where the new jobs are, or who gets them, or how long the transition takes for the people caught in the middle. Because here is what the industry will not say loudly: the hiring freeze is already happening. Banks are not necessarily firing people, they are just not replacing them. When someone leaves, retires, or quits, the bank runs a calculation. Can AI handle that workload? Can we just not hire? More often than not, the answer is yes. Jamie Dimon, Chief Executive Officer of JPMorgan, compared AI's impact to the printing press, the steam engine, electricity, the internet. The printing press eliminated scribes. The steam engine ended an entire class of manual labor. Dimon is not talking about incremental change. He is talking about the reorganization of how human work functions. Here's the part no one is saying clearly enough. The bank teller, the customer service agent, the data entry clerk, those jobs were always going to be automated eventually. Technology replaces repetitive labor. That's the story of every industrial revolution. But this time, it's not stopping at repetitive labor. JPMorgan's AI is now drafting investment banking presentations. Goldman's AI is generating research. Morgan Stanley's AI is replacing institutional memory. Morgan Stanley cut 2,000 employees in March 2025, explicitly linking some of those cuts to AI automation. These are not routine jobs. These are the jobs people spent $200,000 on education to get. The jobs at the top of the finance career ladder, the places where young people were told, survive the grunt work and you'll make it. The grunt work is gone. The ladder is shorter. And the people who built entire lives on the assumption that banking was a safe, stable, prestigious path to the middle class, they are discovering that safe was always a promise that only lasted until the math changed. The math has changed. 73% of banking work time is impacted by AI. 54% of financial jobs have high automation potential. 200,000 jobs are projected to disappear in 5 years, and 20,000 at Citigroup alone by 2026. Somewhere tonight, a Wells Fargo manager is reviewing a spreadsheet of open positions. Some of them will not be posted, not because the work does not need to be done, because the work is already being done by something that started running the moment the manager went home. The Klarna story is important, not because AI failed, but because it almost worked. The AI handled 2/3 of customer interactions. It reduced response times by 82%. It cut costs dramatically. It just could not handle the moment when a person on the other end of the line was scared. That is the line we are all watching. How far the machines go and where exactly the human beings still need to be. For now, banks are treating that line as a business decision, and business decisions change. If you work in financial services, or you are planning to, the question is not whether AI is coming for some of those jobs. It is already here. The question is which skills still matter when the routine work is gone, and whether the industry will invest in helping people find out or just let the headcount drift down. The next video in this series covers a profession you almost certainly would not expect to be on this list. If you have not subscribed yet, now is a reasonable time.